Welcome everyone. Welcome to the 51st public meeting for testimonials on Monday, February 8th, 2021. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Crammond. I'll be a host today, and we will be presenting various testimonials from people that are knowledge seekers involved with the Keshe Foundation and the plasma, what we call the plasma teaching or the plasma technology. And okay, well, let's get right into it here. I think Barbara has something that she would like to present to start off today's show. Hello, Barbara. Perhaps I have to unmute or something. Ask to unmute. Are you able to talk there, Barbara?
Now you're talking with the microphone open.
Oh, did I not have the mic open when I was speaking there?
No.
Did you hear my announcement for the testimonials? No?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, let's try this again. I'm having a really hard time today. I'm so tired I can barely function. All right, let's try it again. This is the welcome everyone to the 51st public meeting for testimonials on Monday, February 8th, 2021. This is broadcast from the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department and part of the public teachings in English. I think we're ready to begin today's show. So let's, I think we're going to hear from Barbara first, and then we'll hear from others that might have experiences of the plasma technology. Okay, go ahead, Barbara.
Hi, how's it going?
Oh, it's rough, but I'm here.
Well, it was -10 here, which is normally not this cold, and I'm sure Lisa's basking in the warmth down there, so she'll have to send some sunshine this way. So I just wanted to give you an update on, first of all, before I start talking about the new things that I have, is I had talked about the sun reactor, and that I was doing that. So I've been getting some even temperatures in the spare room, and it doesn't matter what the temperature is outside and it's closed off. There's no source of heat. So last night it dropped to -10, and I'm still holding between 8 Celsius and 10 Celsius all the time. So that was quite encouraging. What I have noticed since I got 2 devices, I just received my UFO speaker and the moon lamp. When I first put them together, it was a little challenging to get them to balance right, but I managed to get it to it. They were spinning counterclockwise, both of them. And what I noticed on the second day is that the UFO speaker is now going clockwise. So the moon one is going counterclockwise, and the UFO speaker is going clockwise. So that was an interesting observation. Plus, it's interacting with the sun reactor because they're not really close to each other, but they're far enough away that they're starting to react. So but I've noticed that the sun reactor is starting to spin more, and it's starting to interact with, I have another reactor in that other room. So my field is becoming quite strong with having the UFO and the moon lamp now, which was really cool. And last week I had my grandchildren here and my daughter-in-law. Now, my grandson is quite active. He's been diagnosed with attention deficit, so he's quite fired up, and he's like running around in that. And she kind of warned me, and I said, oh, yeah, no problem. So what I noticed when they were here for the 3 days, that his energy started to calm down quite a bit. And this was before having the speakers and the moon lamp. So this is just with the semi-actor and the GANs that I have here. So that was really interesting to observe. So everybody kind of calmed down quite a bit. There wasn't like this, kids running around like crazy sort of thing, which to be expected. And, they're not going outside as much, so they're indoors a lot. And I really love the energy from the moon lamp and the UFO speaker. The UFO speaker actually have been using the Bluetooth feature. It charges up and I can listen to everything. The sound quality is really cool. And what I've noticed is that when I come close to the spaceship lamp here, and if I put my hand on it, I'm doing that right now to it actually will slow down a bit. So it's interacting with my field as well, which I found was quite interesting. And that's what I've noticed so far. Thanks.
Here, perhaps.
Sure, go ahead.
I forgot I can't play music, so I'll just have to look at it and play it without the sound, I guess.
Video without the sound. I kind of realized that when I posted. I didn't think it was a problem on Telegram, so I'll redo another one.
Well, we're broadcasting also to live stream, but we aren't broadcasting to YouTube, so we don't have that particular problem. It's true.
So it did take a little while to get them to balance. What I did is I went with the instructions. I actually read the instructions for a change. And I put a chair up close to where I was, and I kind of said what to do is kind of cradle it, and I had to kind of find the balance. And it was interesting because if I let go and it wasn't quite balanced, it would almost shoot off. So the UFO was wanted to take off. And there's three different there's a few settings, like there's the setting that you can have the light shining down, and then you can have where the light shining down and the lights that are going up, and they change different colors. And then when the UFO is actually charged, there's blue lights that are on the device of the UFO that spins around. And it will charge 4 hours when I first got it by the cord, a USB cord. And when it's actually on the lamp platform or the landing pad, it takes 20 hours. So what I've noticed is that when it's fully charged, even though I use it on and off, I can see a blue light and a red light in that. And there's an actual on-off switch that will turn on the speakers. I was able to hook it up to both my cell phones via Bluetooth, but I got to make sure that both Bluetooths are not on at the same time, so it won't define. So it was very easy. The sound was really clear, and very happy with it. So now the UFO speaker is spinning clockwise. So I guess what it is, it's become gravitational. Is that correct? And the other one has become magnetical, which is the counterclockwise. So I believe they found the balance, and that's why the UFO started going the other way. Thanks.
So I get.
I just noticed it. I kind of went, oh, it's spinning the other way, because I remember mentioning to Randy that they were both spinning counterclockwise. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I looked and I went, hey, it's going the other way now. So I believe that was on day 2, because I hooked it up. And then the lights will turn off. On the moon lamp, there's actually a light that's underneath. And then when you actually go to put the globe on, it actually kind of, you can hear it and kind of clicks on. So the light will pop on. So I can actually turn off the whole device. Okay. And so the light on underneath that's shining down on the moon lamp will stay on. I can turn that the lamp is on and that, or just have the bottom one and turn it off totally. But if I unplug them, okay, they will go off. They will drop. So I believe that it's the electricity that's rotating the magnets that are in there. So that's what I suspect it's going on. But I just love it. It's so cool. My new toys. I will make a different video and I'll kind of show the different features in that. So, any questions? That took a long time, but I understand. Yeah. So yeah. So like I said, I was very pleased when I did get it and that. So with all this COVID and everything like that. So, and I had this shortly from Alex, so I'll be able to give a testimony on that. And I do have a sleeping pillow, but I'll do that some other time, and I'll let Rosa and step forward. Thank you.
What distance have between the ship and the moon?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
What distance?
Oh, you know what? Give me a couple minutes and I'll measure it. Hang on.
Perhaps if it's changing the distance between, you see the other interaction clockwise or anti-clockwise changing.
Hi. It is 18 and a half feet apart. And the sun reactor is about half that distance. I almost made like a star formation between the three, would it be enough? And that. So I made sure that the moon lamp and the speaker weren't near anything that was electronic in that. So I had to strategically place it, and I had to move a table because I have a speaker that would have been close to it, and I know that they have a magnet in there. So the only thing I can think of is that the UFO found its position, and that's why it started doing gravitational. So I have magnetical and gravitational. That's the only thing I can think of. If anybody else has any other theories. I guess I could try it in another room and see what it's like. But I have a lot of electronics around here, so I have to kind of go, okay, can't go near that, can't go near this. And that, but I'm really enjoying it. And I actually have the moon lamp, the UFO lamp actually right in my front window so people can see it at nighttime and wondering what in the world is. And I was saying in one of the meetings, and they said, well, if you see something kind of levitating in BC, it's my house. Okay. Yeah, well, they're really nice. Like I said, the sound quality is really good. What I'll do is I'll make a recording, and I'll do my voice. I learning how to play guitar, but I think it would be quite painful if I tried to do that. So we'll just leave my voice. Thanks.
Yes. Hi, this is Roseanne. I am from Toronto, Canada, and I would like to share my experience with plasma water, actually from One Cup, One Life. On January 12, my husband and I got sick both. We got COVID-19, and my husband got really, really sick. And after 2 weeks, he had to go to hospital, and he has to go under oxygen and many, many different types of medications. And some of them are causing him trouble. And they had to change the medication because his body's immune system was attacking his body. So the new medication was actually might have side effects on his liver, and they were testing his blood like 3 times a day. And after 2 weeks, he didn't make any improvement. And I actually prepared this setup in May, just in case. Then I forgot totally about the instructions and how to use it. And then I came across the Mr. Keshe's teachings in Persian, actually. And I got the instructions, and the next day I prepared patches. I already had plasma water, ganses, everything. And I prepared some patches. I mixed some ganses in them also. And I had plasma water, and I made that respiratory thing, like to breathe in. It's something like hookah, I don't know what they call it. But and I sent him to hospital. It wasn't easy for him to spray, so that's why I just made patches so he could change it every hour or 2 hours. And in less than 48 hours, he said that his breathing is better, and he can walk for like 30 minutes without much difficulty. And then they reduced the oxygen for him. He was for like under 40 liters per minute. And they reduced it gradually until like today it became like 6 liters per minute, which is amazing. And we were so grateful and happy. And I cannot thank Mr. Keshe and his foundation for his teachings. And they are all very amazing. And he saved my husband's life. And I think it saved my life too, because my condition wasn't difficult at the beginning, but it became worse and very difficult. Right now I'm taking amoxicillin and also the children's aspirin, because I feel like chest pain. I contacted the clinic, talked to doctors. They didn't do anything for me. And I'm so happy that we are all improving. And also I can speak in Persian and share my story and experience. So I don't know if it's useful or not.
Yes, we appreciate all languages here, and if you would like to express that in Persian, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay. So for my people from my country would be helpful maybe. سلام به همگی. من از تورنتو کانادا صحبت میکنم و میخواستم به اشتراک بذارم تجربه‌ای که داشتم با وان کاپ وان لایف و چطوری زندگی همسرم و منو نجات داد. همسرم حدود 1 ماه مریضه و 2 هفته تو بیمارستان بود و دواها واقعا هیچ تأثیری نداشتن، هیچ چیزی تغییر نکرد تا اینکه من این ستاپ رو توی می تهیه کرده بودم، ولی واقعا هیچ وقت فکر نمی‌کردم استفادهش بکنم. بعد دیگه اصلا یادم رفته بود چطوری این ستاپ رو استفاده کنم و دوباره به طور اتفاقی اومدم تو ویدیوهای آقای کشه گشتم و به زبان فارسی اون اینستراکشنی که روش استفاده رو داده بودن به خاطر آوردم و فوری پچ تهیه کردم و حتی گنز مقدار آتیش کردم و آب پلازما رو گرفتم و داشتم از قبل و همینطور به صورت قلیونی که میگن نفس بکشی اینا رو تهیه کردم و براش فرستادم بیمارستان و در کمتر از 48 ساعت شنیدیم که گفت نفس تنگیش کمتر شده، میتونه راه بره، کمتر هن میکنه و میتونست اصلا حرف بزنه و قبلش اصلا نمیتونست صحبت کنه و همینطور مقدار اکسیژن رو کم کردن. قبلش 40 لیتر در دقیقه بود، شد 20 لیتر، شد 30 لیتر، شد 20 لیتر و امروز شنیدیم که گفت شده 6 لیتر یا 5 لیتر در دقیقه. واقعا خبر خوشحال کننده برای منه و هممون واقعا شکرگزار هستیم. نمیتونیم به اندازه کافی از آقای کشه و بنیادشون تشکر کنیم برای این آموزشاشون و این بود. به همه توصیه میکنم، خواهش میکنم وای نسین برای لحظه آخر، چون وقت نیست. وقتی که مریض میشین این محلولا رو تهیه کنین، آماده داشته باشین و بدونین که چجوری استفادهش کنین. ممنون. اوکی، thank you. I wanted to say, please, everyone, if you didn't prepare this solution, prepare the solution. It's going to help your family, your loved ones, your friends. It might be a little bit difficult, but plan to prepare it and have it handy, because once you get sick, there is not much time to prepare this solution. You have to order all the material and prepare it beforehand. That's all. Thank you.
That's a good hint. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Roseanne about that experience? Well, we certainly heard similar stories from so many people around the world who have been helped by this process of the 1 cup, 1 life. The stories.
Yeah, I even prepared the 2nd cup of life, but I never used it. I just used it for chest area and for lung area and spraying on the face. I even because for me it was like a cold symptom, and I felt that this virus is lingering in my nostrils. And I just put the plasma water into my nostrils, and I had very, really bad headache. And after that, the headache was gone. I was feeling that my brain was chopping up inside, and then all the headache was gone, and I felt that kind of virus is getting defeated there.
Right on. Thank you very much, Roseanne. That's an excellent testimonial.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's my first time, but I always wanted to be, but I am kind of lazy, and this time I said I have to thank Mr. Keshe.
Well, definitely the coronavirus will get your attention, so sometimes that's what it takes in order to be introduced to the group, perhaps.
Yes. You know, I studied food science and nutrition. Now I'm kind of getting retired, but I was always interested in alternative medication, and by accident I came across the plasma technology, and it was fascinating. it was like I felt that I'm connected to this science. I could understand it. So I'm taking baby steps, but I will get better.
How did you first get in contact with the Keshe Foundation information?
Yeah, I had back pain. I was resting, and I really had nothing to do. I like to go through the YouTube. I learn a lot from YouTube as well. And then I saw the video about plasma science. I said, what is this? So I clicked on it, the 12 videos that the teachings, what is GANs, what is nano coating, and preparing the gases. And I actually prepared CO2, what is the other? CO2 and zinc. Recently, I had difficulty with getting all the materials. I was trying to order on Amazon, but it was coming from China, taking a long time, and I couldn't get caustic. And it's a long story, but I have made it. And then after I got everything, and by Shandor's teachings, I used also KOH, and then I learned from website that we shouldn't use KOHs for certain applications. Now I don't use those copper, nano-coated coppers, so I just put it on the side just in case I need it. I'm not sure if I can use them.
I think the KOH is okay to use in most of the applications. It has some other special applications as well, but it gives a more broadband response. That's the way I understand it.
So it's okay to use for producing gases, right?
Yes. A lot of people do use the extra KOH. I think it can produce a better nano coating, better in terms of probably a broader bandwidth application that might be, better in some applications. It's kind of hard to evaluate through just your feelings and so on, but.
Yes, and then I wanted to prepare this CH3. I used a piece of galvanized metal I bought from Home Depot. I don't know if you're familiar. It's the hardware store here. Mm-hmm. And I attached a battery as it was in the instructions, and I think the battery wasn't used much. It was used battery, but it started to like boiling like a volcano, and I was kind of scared. And all the nano coating came off the coil that I made, and then kind of dark solution was made, and there was some also orange solution. I'm not sure if it's CH3 or not, but at the moment I had really, really bad headache, but I was holding and watching this process going on, and then my headache was going away, and like 95% was gone, and the other 5% was gone after like an hour or something. I was just amazed by what happened, but I just closed everything and put them on the side because I didn't know what I produced.
Yeah, that's the thing about it. When the battery voltage gets too high, then that's the indication is there's a lot of bubbling, and then you start producing a bunch of materials that you don't necessarily want in your GANs materials.
So I have to try to make CH3 with maybe chicken mesh or something?
Yeah, that's one of the processes. There's several different ones. And what would you use the CH3 for?
I just wanted to have all gases, just in case I needed them.
Okay. Because originally Mr. Keshe was teaching not to make the CH3 GANs if you have the corona it might tend to make things worse instead of better is the idea. It's a feeder. It's basically like a food, and it can give you energy, but it can also give, say, a cancer energy or a virus energy as well. So it may not be.
Yeah, right. I learned about that, but in one of his Persian teachings, someone asked that you said we don't prepare CH3 GANs, and he said, I didn't mean just don't use it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's why I said okay. So.
Yep.
No.
And
yeah, I think his concern was that it will attract the virus.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, it gives energy because virus itself is an energy pack, and when it will energize it more.
Can I say something here?
Please do.
Good evening, everyone. Why don't you leave it until you need it?
I'm not sure about what I produce. Honestly, the color is orange color like CH3 gas, but it might be iron oxide or something.
It is about the CH3. I mean, you don't do it better, but when you need it, you can do it so easily. It will take only 1 or 2 days if you need it. So it's better for you that you know the knowledge and don't do it unless you really need it, and then it will not be harm for you because you need it.
Yeah, I learned that because I have cataract, I wanted to use, there was some teaching that these all different gases, plasma water to mix them and use them to make patch. But I haven't used it yet, so to put it in a test.
We are learning in the process, and Mr. Keshe saying all the time, the best gases you can produce only when you need it, and then it will fit the condition what you need it for.
Right. These 4 gases, it was recommended to prepare and have them handy. So when you need something, it's like a rush. You cannot go through all of this and to wait to get what you want. It's good to have, I believe.
Okay, very good. Any other comments or observations on Roseanne's experience?
But if you like, I can teach you something.
Sure.
You can do the CO2, the CO2, but in the strength of CH3.
Oh.
Just put your attention. What you want, what you need the CH3 for. You have something in your mind, yes?
Yes, as I said, I have cataract, and I learned that CH3 plasma is also required for that. So to mix all these gases. So
okay. You go and do the CO2 in the intention of what you need it for.
Okay.
Then this particularly CO2, it will behave more beautiful than the CH3. And you can try it and feed us back next month.
Yeah, but isn't CH3 produced by iron? But we don't have iron in our CO2 setup, right?
Look, when you go advanced and more advanced in this technology, then whatever you have in your hand, you can produce whatever you want. It is your attention, what you put for this attention for these gases to work. Even don't think about the colors, don't think about what you are really producing, and leave the names away. Now you know how you produce, finished. If you have only the zinc plate and the copper plate, just put them and pray for them, wish, and put your attention to them. Whatever you wanted from these gases, it will apply 100%. If it's color copper or CH3 color or white color, green color, whatever, it will apply what your attention is. And this is the beauty of the plasma.
Okay, once I get better, I have energy. I will do all of this to see what happens. Okay, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
Good luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan had put a couple comments in the chat here regarding the KOH, how it raises the temperature. So it makes a slightly different process by raising the temperature. It'll open up the structure of the nanostructure a little more or a little differently. I'm not sure what the other comment means. Touch in spectrum of iron, put the intention that interacts with CO2 and will behave as you wish. I think that's basically what Jalal was saying, yes.
Yes, it's what Jalal was saying. I say the nano copper is touching the range, the field of iron, because you have copper 69, more or less, and you have 60, how many? 67 or 60, touch the iron field also in the CO2 box. So and I remember when Mr. Keshe saying, when I start thinking the process of nano coating with natrium hydroxide, I thinking how to put the element potassium in the inside for certain.
Just remember the teaching from Togo, from Bol. He make the gases with his attention. So this is an indicator that you can do it also. Just believe in what you are doing.
When it's feeding in the morning and drinking in the night?
It's as you like. Yes, that was a teaching of from Africa. It was a very beautiful teaching, but unfortunately, a lot of us didn't go this way in producing gases. They like the fixed position, you know.
Well, ultimately, we don't even need a body to do anything, so it depends on what level you operate at. But for people that are sick, they usually need some sort of GANS help to act as a go-between, some sort of something in the physical to relate to put our attention on, I suppose. But lots of healing effects happen without having actual GANS material, so definitely that can be done. Our body is full of GANS material anyway, so we got lots of that to play with. Built in built into the structure.
Don't forget the Lisa Hope.
Pardon me?
Don't forget what I want to say Lisa Hope regarding the cartoons and helping the other teams.
Sorry, regarding, what did you say, Dan? And what was it, Lisa?
Regarding the, let's say, testimonial, how to help the other teams, the Spanish team, Canadian team, how to move. It's like a testimonial. What is intention, what is helping with TV, Keshe TV. TVs want to say something, they present and say something, I remember.
Okay, well, I'll leave it up to Lisa. Is there anything you'd like to say at this point to the public here about you've had a recent encounter with the Keshe Foundation? Perhaps you'd like to say something.
Sure. Yeah, just that I was introduced by Barbara, and her and I have known each other for a number of years, and she knows that I'm awake and I understand what's kind of going on, and thought that I'd be interested in this, and I definitely am. So I'm a video editor and producer. I have my own company. I'm working remotely from Canada in Mexico, and I'm offering my editing services to get some of the archives up and running, so everybody can see things that are kind of sitting there waiting to be heard. So that's what I'm grateful for right now.
Well, certainly the Keshe Foundation and the Knowledge Seekers would be grateful for someone with your capabilities for video editing and that kind of thing. There's Mr. Keshe is really pushing hard for this Keshe TV concept, which has come up recently, and it's a really big opportunity for any knowledge seeker that wants to get involved with the Keshe Foundation, because there'll be programs that'll be needed to be produced, and part of that is the video editing, as you know, and there's other aspects that are part of producing videos for television, such as sound, for example. So people have some sound clips they would like to give to the Keshe Foundation, because it'll have to be a completely free, no strings attached kind of donation to the Keshe Foundation for some music that might be appropriate for the beginning of a TV show, or the beginning or end of some of the other teachings that we put out. So there'll be programs that will be pre-recorded and then played on the Keshe TV channel. And music is a big part of that, to carry the emotion. It carries the emotion of the video, and it's kind of the underlying theme that holds it together in a way. So the music is very important, and if people can send in some samples of what they think would be an interesting and dramatic or cinematic kind of way to present the plasma technology. So that might look like a 30-second clip or a 1-minute clip or 2 minutes, sometimes maybe 3 or 4 minutes of music, but that would be for a longer video. So that's one area. There's others as well. Images are nice to have, and if you think you have a beautiful image that represents the plasma technology in some way, perhaps that could be sent in, and along with a usage disclaimer to allow that to be used and so on. You have to sign a waiver to allow your materials to be used and all that. But there's many opportunities for people to get involved with a group to work on a project. And it can be fun, it can be educational, you can learn things, and you're interacting with other knowledge seekers, so there's always opportunities and challenges there. So people can consider that, and to just get involved, and it's a wonderful thing. So highly advise it if you have the time and energy that you can dedicate to such a thing. All right, anything else that anyone would like to say about that? Okay, and along with that, there are, I think it's basically working from the Telegram groups, but Mr. Keshe wants representatives from the groups to show what that group has available to give toward projects for the Keshe TV. Various testimonials are a great way to contribute. So, for example, so people might want to do a video testimonial of your experience, or maybe just a audio track, and that could be sent in and used by the producers of the show to weave into their program. And the way I understand it, there'll be 2 live teachings through the week, and that'll be the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace will be broadcast live on the Keshe TV, as well as the Knowledge Seekers Workshop will also be broadcast live, and then the other shows will be pre-recorded and put up as a video according to schedules and so on. And that'll include the language teachings and translations and that kind of thing as well. So there will be a bit less pressure than trying to do a live show on TV. At least there'll be an opportunity to do the actual editing and background work that needs to be done before it gets unleashed to the public. Okay, does anyone else have anything else they would like to present for today's testimonial meeting?
We have a few people. Can you raise the hand if you want to stay or make testimonials?
Yeah, maybe I'll just bring people in as panelists so they can speak when they need to. Thanks, Dan. And Thomas mentions in the chat creating and reviewing subscripts for the Keshe Foundation workshops is a good way to get involved. Yep, absolutely. That's actually how I got involved with the Keshe Foundation originally about 10 years ago. I saw some of the videos, and it was a little hard to understand Mr. Keshe's words, and I understand better, I think, when I can actually see the words as well. So I decided that I would offer my services to transcribe the first 5 videos that Mr. Keshe put out on his Time to Stop the Burning series of videos on in front of the little chalkboard thing that he was working with, and explaining about the neutron and proton and that kind of thing. And so I got those transcribed and sent them into the webmaster, and he got them up on the videos, and that kind of started my interactions with the Keshe Foundation. And I ended up linking to my channel, which was popular at the time, and kind of boosting the YouTube videos and trying to get them going through social media and so on. And one thing led to another, and Mr. Keshe had me do the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, which actually started before the Knowledge Seekers workshops, and was actually the model for doing the first Knowledge Seekers workshops. And even before the Knowledge Seekers workshops was a year of monthly teachings of the what's it called, the public teachings, from Mr. Keshe, public teaching workshops series was called, and that went on for a year before the weekly Knowledge Seekers workshops started.
Well, you've certainly been with the foundation for a long time, Rick, and really appreciate all what you do. So how many years has it been? I'm trying to kind of go back. Like, I knew when the first Knowledge Seekers workshop was, and I went, wow, it's been many years. How many years?
Well, in dog years, it's been a whole lifetime, but in human years, it's been about, about 10 years now, I guess, altogether. Wow. Since I first got involved. And but the actual Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago that it started. And
well, you're certainly devoted, that's for sure, especially when you have to do the Knowledge Seekers public workshop when it's like 12 a.m. our time, so, and then you're doing other ones, so you're definitely devoted, and you are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, Rick.
Yeah, it's a bit of a burnout doing the night shift because we're on European time, or I'm on European time in a way. But it's somehow worked out over the years, and here we are. Dan mentions with the Dragon Lady. Yeah, that was a woman from Montreal. Her name was actually Lady Dragon. And she was kind of feisty. Well, more than kind of. She was feisty. And she was interacting with some of the first groups that we had, and interacting with Mr. Keshe and asking him all the tough questions and so on. That was a bit of fun. Thanks for the memory, Dan.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come and go from the foundation. So it's really good that you've lasted this long.
Yeah,
I think you're a big glue to the foundation.
Yeah, a lot have come and gone, and whether you come and go or you stay, inevitably the Keshe Foundation and Mr. Keshe leaves a indelible imprint on you, and you'll forever be changed from those interactions.
I think what's going to happen with this Keshe TV going to be going out, you're going to have a lot of knowledge seekers kind of popping back in and going, oh, yeah, I was part of that, but, you know, and oh, I'm here again. you might see a lot of that. I just noticed there was a lady or a gentleman, I didn't quite catch the name, that wanted to speak. They need translation or something. I just noticed that in the comments. I'll mute myself. Thanks.
I see that Alenka has said that she'll try contributing with transcribing or reviewing the translation to and from Spanish. So that's great. You can get involved with the Spanish group there and get that lined up. Perhaps that's what you meant by the comments, Barbara, or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, I just quickly noticed something. I just took a quick glance. So thanks.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have something they would like to present for today's workshop? Anything they've noticed or comments or suggestions for something for us to focus on here? I have a quick look at the testimonials site and see if anything is there.
It's not like a testimonial, but it's not. It's possible to seeing how is developed the growing or the team, Spanish team, Italian team, Canadian team, all the team is growing and growing very fast in last time. Many interviews, many radio interview, TV interview. It's expanding very quickly.
Yes, good point.
Spreading of knowledge.
So we have like the TV Galactica is one way that it's a new avenue for the Keshe teaching. Marie has been interacting with that and presenting some of the teachings from the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and from the Universal Council. What else, Dan? There's various language teachings that are ongoing through the week. And that's to Zoom, and there's the Telegram groups as well.
My week, actually, my testimony is my week is very busy from first day of the week to last, because each day I have at least one Zoom where I participate in the other language or our language. It's quite difficult to looking in the same time all. Surely, when we have the TV, Keshe Foundation, you are able to look in all with calm, patience, and to bring attention in what he's saying. That is having Italian group right now. After a few hours, it's having in the Portuguese and English group, let's say. the tomorrow we have one national plan for race. We have also the meetings in the Telegram because it needed to put in the name from these 3 persons for news, for everything, other groups. We have the plasma reactor group in the morning. In the night, we have a major part of language, have the lesson. In Wednesday, have Mr. Keshe. In the night, have Hollandaise, Dutch team, and in the other Italian, we have all the days we have some Zoom.
Yes, indeed. And with the Keshe TV, they hope to be broadcasting basically 24/7 as well. So there'll always be some program going on, and always something to tune into, as well as I think there's the programs that are broadcast. I think they're available as well from the TV channel. So we'll see what it looks like. There'll be an app for that apparently, and there'll be an app for the Keshe TV that people can access in order to access the TV channel. So we'll get more information on that as things go on, and the Keshe TV will be unveiled officially, I believe, March 20th or March 21st, and we'll be going live with the first programs then.
From the people who, let's say, did not understanding better what Mr. Keshe is saying last week regarding the TV, Keshe Foundation, perhaps can listen in the Spanish group what Mr. Keshe is saying, in the North American group what he's saying, basically the same thing, but with a little bit no argument, detail for a better organization, for organize this thing for working properly and quickly.
Yeah, so there's different ways that people can get involved. That's the Telegram groups and the Zoom. Of course, there's the private teaching where people are getting together for the private teachings that are delivered by various knowledge seekers in the Keshe Foundation, and that's available for people to sign up to, and it costs €100 a year for access to all the private teachings back to 2015. Mr. Keshe gave a year's worth of teachings then in the private teachings of Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, and those are available to those who are private students, as well as the current private teachings that go on through the week. And there's various groups set up to look into in detail some of the topics of interest to people. Might be energy or agriculture or other aspects that are particular projects that are taken on by a small group to do the experiments and come up with solutions. using the plasma technology. Okay, I just want to play the disclaimer here because I should have played that earlier in the show, and generally I like to use that as much as possible. So let me just put that on now so we can get that handled.
Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GANs processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Okay, I thought maybe we could have a look at some of the products from the Keshe Foundation store, since a couple of them were mentioned today. And this is the Keshe Foundation store at keshefoundation.org/store, and you can see the various things for sale here. And let's have a look first at the units that we already had a look at today. Find them here. Okay, I think we're getting there. I must have missed it somewhere. Piece package. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is the Keshe GANs levitating UFO speaker lamp, as we've seen in the previous pictures from Barbara. And it has Bluetooth and plays music and sound and levitates. Nice little unit, 199 euros. And it's got the statistics on it there, and people can have a look at that if they like. And also we have the let's see here. There it is. the Keshe levitating moon lamp. As we've seen also previously, and it is also 199 euros.
I did get the environmental balancer, but I haven't set it up yet, so I'll have to do that as well. And I do have the pillow, and I do have the spacesuit. So maybe what I'll do is I'll get all dolled up and model that again and have a better picture.
Yes, that's quite an item, somewhat controversial in a way, but very interesting. I thought it was brilliant when I first heard of that when it came out.
It's really warm. When I just put it on just to try it on and take a picture, I was hot when I was like couldn't get out it fast enough. So I can see that it would really be beneficial when you're spraying the one cup and the second cup in there, and that was the reason that they had created, was because people were getting cold trying to do the protocols for the virus. So so it's definitely would keep you warm, and it was interesting to get in and get out of and everything like that. But there's lots of zippers and everything like that. So when I have a chance, I'll try and take some more pictures again. Thanks.
Well, it's interesting that we know that fevers, the body gets a fever in order to raise the temperature, and at a certain critical temperature it'll kill viruses and bacteria and whatnot, and that's part of why we get a fever, and how it's beneficial to we know that when the fever breaks, then you feel better, and you know that you've gotten over the ailment usually. So this is sort of like helps to induce that fever and get you sweating and get the toxins out of the body, basically. And it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, it was, like I said, it definitely warming. It had like a quilting material in it. So the zippers were really nice and everything. So my son even tried it on, and I got a picture with my son on it. So, and he's nearly 6 foot. So that was quite interesting.
Now, was that the largest size, or what size?
It wasn't the largest size. It was the large.
Mm-hmm.
And I just can't get any larger myself, or I won't fit in it.
Oh, okay. I thought they might have been a bit small in sizing, but it sounds like they're pretty much normal as far as that goes.
I guess it depends. Yeah, because I like myself, I'm like 5'8", and I'm an average woman. I'm not skinny, so I typically would wear like a large size for a woman, and I found I got a large thinking that it would be larger. So I would say it's probably smaller than a normal large if it was for like unisex. So if you were a person that was, a little bit bigger and taller, I would recommend the larger size, the extra large, because it's better to be too big than too small, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it just fit me, put it that way.
Okay, good. That's good feedback. Thank you.
Where I live, I could use it as a snowmobile suit.
Or when you get your house levitating, then you're going to need a spacesuit.
Yeah, when the news comes, I'll just come out in my spacesuit.
Yeah. That should be our standard fare for delivering our news items, just from a spacesuit. That would be
I'm sure it would get a lot of attention.
That would be attention getting.
My Halloween costume.
Someone gets out of a spaceship in a spacesuit and gives the news. I think that people would pay attention. Surely to goodness, that would finally get people's attention.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a tinfoil hat. I have the whole suit.
Well, if you had a silver helmet, and that could be provided by any motorcycle equipment place. They have some pretty fancy ones that look like alien helmets now. So, yeah, that could actually work. I could see that as a promotional thing. That could be like, for example, this big egg-shaped container just shows up in a city somewhere in the middle of the city, right? And no one knows
like
what it is.
monoliths.
The big enhancement chamber is there, and no one even knows what it is, and suddenly it separates and opens up, and this
And
person, Barbara, comes out in a spacesuit, and no one knows whether it's an alien or a human or what the heck. And then
I do have room in my backyard. We could land here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would just be a great debut.
Yeah, well, to suddenly have the unit show up somewhere in a public place, that would be really interesting. Because we have all these, what do you call them, these silver metal structures that are showing up around the world now. And out in
the monoliths.
Monoliths.
Monoliths, yeah.
Monoliths out in the desert and so on in these remote locations. Well, you can imagine. Yeah, I mean, we can play off that in a way.
Yeah, well, the next time one shows up, we'll have to get Mr. Keshe to put the flight unit right beside it. I think that would go off really good.
Well, it'd certainly be a great way to deliver the news, and people would maybe find it. You could do it in a humorous way, of course, or it could be somewhat serious, I suppose, too. But and then if people got kind of used to that format, they would look forward to the news coming from this alien ship with this person with a spacesuit on.
Yeah, live from the egg.
Live from the core of the universe, yes.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Well, we might chuckle about it now, but it's going to be reality in the near future.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it. We are laughing about it now as if it's kind of funny, but it may not be so funny by March 21st. We may end up actually being in that situation. So, or sometime shortly after that.
Live from the egg. I love it. Lisa says, well, I'll volunteer. I got my spacesuit already.
Yeah. Well, you just have to get an enhancement unit in your location, so...
This is true. Oh, my goodness.
Interesting. Okay, thank you for your input on that. And, of course, there's some packages that the Keshe Foundation is putting out, too, with these products. Where did I see the package unit here?
Did you see the comment that was in the chat?
No. Are you sure he's not involved with him in the monolith experiments? Mr. Keshe involved in the monolith experiments. Is that the comment you mean?
Yes, and somebody was saying hello from Germany as well.
Okay, why don't we show the so-called egg that we were referring to here, which is the Universal Body Enhancement Unit, which is now has been actually made in the physicality and is sitting in exhibition hall in Linz, Austria right now, awaiting the release to the public of the exhibition hall again. Apparently now it's being used for a vaccination center or some sort of public interaction place for the coronavirus. Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to bring up for show and tell here for today's testimonials meeting?
Helmut says greetings. Maybe he would like to say hello.
Yes, hello to all. But I have not much to say, just hello, that's it.
Okay, thank you for saying hello here, Helmut.
But one thing maybe, because in 2020 I had to report my usage in electricity to the
We can barely hear you. I don't know if you need to come closer to the mic.
okay, maybe now it works better. Hello?
A little bit. Go ahead.
So what I have to say is that my electricity bill for 20 was like zero. Actually, it was not like zero, but because I was afraid to report to the company that it is zero, they might create problems. So I let them do their calculations, and I paid in advance, but below the how to say. But actually, last year I did not had any consumption in electricity. But I must say that since about 1 or 2 years, I do not have the maghraf connected. So maybe the wires are conditioned in a way that is useful. So I will watch it, and if I have really proof, and of course I have to find out the reason, so I will report this also to you. Thank you.
Well, that's certainly very interesting. Perhaps the wiring of the house has been nano-coated, like is how it's supposed to happen with the maggrav units. The wiring of the house gets nano-coated, and then it acts as a receptor for the energy in itself. And it seems like you have the ideal circumstance where you've actually disconnected the maggrav, and it still continues to enable that effect to happen.
Rick, would you be able to kind of explain what the maggrav is? Lisa's fairly new to the Keshe technology, and I haven't had an opportunity to fill her in on that. Maybe if you can give her a little bit of information on that. Thank you.
Okay, let's have a look in the store and have a look at the actual unit, which we can see at the top of the picture here as well, that blue maggrav power unit. Let me just share here. Let me see if we go to the store.
So you can buy a maggrav, Lisa, but there's people that have actually built them, and over the years.
Yeah, that's the option. There's either you get to. Okay, here we go.
Oh, she was just saying that was in one of the lessons. Awesome, great.
So yeah, the little blue unit here is the maggrav unit, the one that's made by the Keshe Foundation. and it has inside of it 3 sets of double coils that are nano-coated, copper wire nano-coated, and it's got plasma capacitors and a few other bits and pieces inside, and you basically plug it into your power supply, your grid power supply, and then you plug whatever you want to run into the maggrav itself. So it acts as an in-between between your power supply and the objects you'd like to run. Typically it might be a refrigerator or some other motor gives the best results. And you should immediately start getting a reduction of your power usage on your power bills and that kind of thing. And that can be anywhere from around 10% to, some people have up to, well, as we were just heard in the last testimonial there, up to 100% of your power usage can be offset by this unit. So it doesn't actually generate power, but it is it reduces your power consumption. That's the idea.
What I heard from some people, that the ones that actually had built them, they were having challenges of getting them to work. And so my understanding is that people were just building it as a mechanical thing and not treating it as a soul. And so I think that's really important as part of a lot of the GANs technologies, that we interact on a soul level with these devices.
Yes, that's true, and that can be a little surprising to some people that just expect, some people expect to buy it and just save some money on their power consumption and that's it. But the Chinese actually had a name for this unit. They call it the happy box, because they found that when people came into the room where the maggrav was running, they became happier. So they associated that happy feeling with the maggrav, called it the happy box.
So what kind of energy, like I obviously haven't built one of these units, what kind of energy does it create? I mean, if it's creating a happy field, like if I was to compare it to like the cup 1s and the cup 2s and other things, is there a comparison, or is that a totally different entity?
Well, it's definitely different, but yet it has similar aspects. We've got the nano-coated coils, but you're also coated with GANs material and amino acids, so it's got that same connection through the GANSes to the to our own body, to our own center. The soul of us is the same as the soul in the GANs material. And it also has these coils, which there are three sets of coils with double coils, actually 3 with the initial wire on the inside, and they have their own center or soul, you could say, that is formed in the center of all of those. So you definitely have an entity, a self-standing entity with this unit. It's got its power, it's got its GANs, it's got its fields that are interacting. It'll be different than the fields of the One Cup, One Life or other straight GANs materials. For example, you see this little pen thing here, not the pain pen, but the other device that can be used to, in this case it's used to make sure your polarity of the plug is proper with your outlet, because the unit has to be set up a certain way that way. And so that same polarity unit it'll light up around electricity. If you put it close to the wires of the maggrav, for example, it'll light up like any electrical tester. But also there's a field around the maggrav that these kinds of testers can light up with as well. So you can definitely, like above the maggrav, you might find there's a strong field there, or all around it, and so on. And we've done experiments before in the Keshe Plasma Reactor group with different kinds of devices, magnetic sensors and electric field sensors and that kind of thing, to get a better
Somebody
idea.
was asking if this was free shipping to all the countries. I presume it is. If it's got free shipping, it doesn't have a limitation.
I'm pretty sure that's true, yes.
Yeah. What I found was interesting when I started working with the coils and everything. When I initially came to the foundation, I had no idea about the intention and everything. So when I found out that as I was winding the coils, creating the coils, I started to put the intention in, and I really noticed the difference between the type of GANs that I have. So I guess it's really important that if somebody was creating making a maggrav, is that when they're winding the coils, that our intentions are in there as well. And I guess the intention, once if you were to buy this particular unit, to put your intentions of when you activate it and everything. That's my thoughts.
Yes, good point. And if your intention is just to save money, for example, then that's not one of the highest intentions of life, let's say. So you could think about that. If you bought the maggrav unit just to save money, to save a few bucks a month on your power consumption, that's probably not the best reason to buy a maggrav unit, let's say. It might get your foot in the door, and then you might find that, gee, it makes me actually feel better, and I've noticed my friends are happier when they interact in the room where the maggrav unit is, and people might possibly notice that after the fact that they got it for their power consumption.
Yeah, and then some people just buy things just to say, hey, look what I got. I got something new and exciting, and it's more of a, like a prestigious kind of thing. So I can see that, where maybe people have done that and they haven't got the results. So like I said, it's the wrong intention. So it's important that then when we're bringing something, what we do with it. That was the very first thing that I did once I set up the unit. The UFO, the speaker, and the Moonlink was, I went, oh yeah, I got to put my intention in here. So I went over it very carefully and put my intention, to share the field and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting process, being part of the Keshe Foundation, to learn that and to help us elevate the souls. And it's not just about having stuff. I mean, there's a bigger picture here.
Yes, a much bigger picture, and that's a good point. It's not about the stuff so much, it's about our own stuff inside of us, and that gets brought out through the technology. So we might discover that we actually are sensitive to fields and can feel things, and subtle interactions and that kind of thing. Definitely a lot of people have been influenced by hearing this knowledge, this information about the plasma technology. It can just rock your life. And I know for me, the reason I mentioned the 5 videos that Mr. Keshe put out initially, maybe I can find a link to that playlist, the reason I got excited about those videos is Mr. Keshe answered a question that I had through my whole life, of a very, very basic question that I asked when I was in university, and I stumped my professors, and it made me want to leave university and just not have anything to do with that system, which is, I asked a simple question: what is an electron? And they could not answer it. And they still can't, basically. But yet we talk about electron, we have all these fancy formulas that explain the exact movement and nature and the interactions of this electron, but they cannot explain what the electron is. And it just gets them in a kerfuffle to even start to go there. And they automatically say, well, we define it by this formula. Well, that's not a way to define something. So I was very dissatisfied and went through my whole life, dissatisfied with that explanation and continuing to search and about science and so on. And along comes Mr. Keshe, and he describes in a couple of minutes what an electron is, which is basically a wound up magnetic field. It's an energy package. It's a magnetic energy package. It's not a particle that the scientists keep trying to tell us that everything's made of particles. But when it comes right down to it, there are no particles. The closer and closer they get to looking at particles, the more they disappear and become energy fields and energy packets. So it's all made up of magnetic fields, and the rest is simply illusion. So it was a big relief for me in a way to discover that, and I wanted, at that time to try to get everybody to know this information, that Mr. Keshe seemed to have the knowledge of the universe and the secrets to control of gravity and creating new materials and all of these things that have been the holy grail of science forever, in a way. And even in not just science, but also of theology and philosophy and everything else thrown into the package as well. So for me, it was amazing to contact this source of knowledge, and it also related to previous knowledge that I picked up that was a deeper or higher knowledge at that time, and Mr. Keshe was aware of those realms as well, and so he brought in the spiritual side, the soul, the soul part. He brought the soul into science, which again is another big feature of the plasma technology. It is multi-dimensional and multi everything. Multi-totality.
Rick, I noticed there was a couple questions in the chat. I can't read it. I'm on my cell phone, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention. There was a person that was asking about the intention that it is put in, I guess, these magravs that are made from the factory. Maybe you could answer that. I don't know that answer.
Like Alenka says, when the units were made, what was the intention? Well, I do know that, for example, Mr. Keshe visited the factory one time, and he noticed that they were piling up their coils on top of each other. So he had to instruct them to be much more careful with the coils, and when they're nano-coated, and explain to them how delicate the surface was, and that you're not to be piling them all on top of each other and so on, to take more care with the product to give a good nano coating and so on. So that's kind of an example of the care and intention that has to go into making a product like this. And you know, Mr. Keshe is careful to make sure that the procedures are followed exactly, and the intention and the correct vibes basically are put into these units. So that's all part of the process, part of the educational process for the people that are actually working in the factories, who are often knowledge seekers themselves, that have had good experiences with the plasma technology and they want to give back, or they want to get involved in some way. So they might be part of the local groups and they end up getting a job working in the factory. I don't know, I'm not directly involved with that end of things, getting involved with the factories and so on, so we probably have to ask Mr. Keshe to get a more clear answer about that, but he has alluded to that from time to time. And definitely the factories, according to the international way that they're set up and so on, they have a certain format, a certain layout that they work with, that works efficiently and works for producing the intention and the effects that they wish with the products as well. So definitely that's all part of it. Helmut mentions if we start producing magravs at home and later in the workshops, all the attendants had the lesson about a good ethos in mind that was taught by Mr. Keshe. And he says, in my opinion, that had some influence in all. So that we try to instill that care and attention into people when they make it, whether they make their own magravs at home or instructed through a workshop. And definitely that's part of it. Dan mentions without the magravs, his electrical consumption was 90 kilowatts a day. With the magravs, I record only 9 kilowatts per day. So in that case, it's like a 90% reduction in power costs. Okay, I'm going to try to find the link to those videos which I mentioned, the initial videos from Mr. Keshe. Bear with me a minute here. If you want to carry on the conversation, that would be a good idea. I say if you want to carry on a conversation, that would be a good idea. Hint, hint.
It's about the balance between us like a soul, with the soul of magravs, or the cups, or the gangs that you have in surround you. It's the balance between, let's say, in and out, the balance between the consumption and generating. Is about the environment creating from these beautiful souls. It's about not this only the MAGRAV instead. It's concept behind the MAGRAVs. We are the MAGRAVs. We have the physicality, let's say copper. We have the CO2 connection. We have the zinc, like emotion, soul. We have the coating, like a skin. We have all GANs, plasma, water. We have all. It's our replication.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Okay, I'm just posting the link to the original Keshe teaching videos to the live stream and into our chat here. And I'll just bring that up on the screen briefly so you can see what that's about. So that was the playlist, is the link I gave there, and we have videos such as the Keshe 1 Intro and Gravity. That's the first one. The second one is Matters of the Neutron. Third one is Nuclear Decay and Motion. Fourth one is Fusion.
What is very...
And the fifth one is Flight and the Creation of Light. Now each of these videos are only about 10 minutes long, but boy does he jam a lot of important information into that 10-minute videos. So something to think about there. You might want to go back and review those and pick up some clues to help you with your more recent teachings as well. It might be just the fact you need to get your flying saucer off the ground or make your house lift up like Barbara's planning on doing. Alright, well there's something that people can have a look at if you so desire. Actually, maybe I'll play a little bit of the first video just to give a little taste of what Mr. Keshe has been asked to do here, or delivering.
We've been asked to make videos regarding the book which is written, to give some talk about it and what it's about, and what is the difference between what technology we are offering and the technology of the past. The book is called The Universal Order of Creation of Matters. The matters in this book are not about the matters solid, gases and liquids. The matter we speak about is about the fundamental matters, which are the matter, antimatter and dark matter. Up to this point, some scientists have assumed that there are some antimatter within the plasma of the matter. We for the first time explain the plasma contains matter, the antimatter, and dark matter, and some magnetic field forces within the plasma, some working in conjunction with each other and some loose. For the first time in this book, we explain the time has come for man to walk away from ethos of burning woods, burning materials, to create energy and motion, to overcome propulsion, and to lift matters into space. For the first time in this book, we show how the magnetic fields of fundamental matters, which is the antimatter and dark matter, and the matter of the plasma, can be used to create lift, to create motion, to create energy, without burning. Using the magnetic fields, we use the properties of the antimatter, for example, and when we finish with it, we return it back to its original state, back into the plasma. We are not far from reality. Some institutes around the world are working on this principle, but they never understood the concept. We developed technologies, we have tested it, and now we are sharing our knowledge with the rest of the scientific world. Walking away from this book and going back to what this book is about, we have to go back to where man started. Man, from the beginning of the time, saw fires, and he followed the same pattern. The reason this scene has been set with a place in front of the fireplace is to bring back the reality of where we come from and where we are going. Man in the jungles saw the fire, the wood. He learned how to make fire. He used the fire in an industrial way to add to his needs, add to his wants. What he wanted to create with, he used the fire to manipulate, to make a steel. Further on, he came to understand the coal, the use of the coal, and he used the coal. Still again burning. In the recent past, we came across oil in the past 200 years. Further, we used oil, burning. Nuclear physicists have come across the new technology, what they call the nuclear reactors, or what they call at the moment fusion technology. We'll come to this. The fusion scientist and the technology, the way it's going, will have a long way to go before you actually see any results, because fusion technology of today has one of these main ingredients in the nuclear reactors missing. The operation of these reactors will be talked about later on.
Okay, well, there's a bit of a teaser for you that you might want to go back and review those videos. I know just in that few minutes I got something out of that I hadn't realized that Mr. Keshe had talked about, and it's refreshing to kind of hear him discussing again about the burning. That this was the big part that had gotten me in this video, is that it was time for mankind, for humankind, to stop the burning, to just stop the burning. We've been burning stuff for millennia, from the first fires in the cave to like he says, the coal and oil that's still burning. And now it's time for mankind, for humankind, to simply stop the burning. And I thought, wow, what a revolutionary concept! What a beautiful way to go into the future. And with the lift technology as well discussed, it's not just alleviation of the energy woes and the pollution problems and everything else with the burning, but actually we get the lift technology built into it as well. Wow, this is like two of the major dreams of my life in the first few sentences of this video. So it just totally blew me away, and I was ready to promote it all over the place after that. And I found it difficult because people didn't recognize it or didn't really care and so on, and it was hard to get people to even look at this kind of thing. But now that we have more practical applications of the technology and people actually using the One Cup One Life, as well as other things such as the MagGrav technology and other things over the years, now we have a large audience and knowledge seekers all over the world that implement these things. Hello, I heard a microphone open there. I think someone was going to speak.
Oh, that was me. Sorry. I was just going to say, in terms of sharing it, I think the biggest challenge is that if people don't hear it in the news, they kind of go, nah. So this, the Keshe Foundation TV is just going to be awesome, because this will really just kind of get things out there. People that I know that I've been talking about Keshe stuff, I said, oh, there's a TV, app coming. I'm kind of prepping people, kind of going, it's coming. So I think this will really make a difference. And then there is just so much information that's in the archives. I think we will have no trouble filling the time.
Yep, for sure. On the YouTube channel now we have over 2,000 videos, so that's how productive it's been in the last few years. And in the archives are even more videos as well, so it's a huge number. It keeps our transcribers and translators busy full time, that's for sure, and we could always use more help that way for transcribing. If anybody's interested in giving back to the Keshe Foundation and Mr. Keshe, that is an excellent way to do it, is to transcribe. Take one of the Knowledge Seekers workshops and transcribe it, or part of a workshop, and that way you get to be more intimate with the words of Mr. Keshe in that sense. And people that do the transcribing usually find that they gain a greater understanding of the technology and of the teaching, because they hear the same sentence maybe half a dozen times before they've got the key words all typed in the way they're supposed to be and whatnot. And so you end up going over the same ideas multiple times in order to hear every detail and record it. And that process can be very valuable in securing the ideas inside of ourselves to make it our own, basically.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of time and effort that goes into it, and that's a good point about when you happen to hear something over and over again, and then it just kind of becomes part of you. So that's a really good thing. Thanks. Thanks for bringing these teachings up. Yvonne had sent me a couple of them, but I didn't realize how many there were. So this is good. I bookmarked that. So very good. Thank you.
Yeah, they're short and intense and give a little different viewpoint than the more recent teachings as well. I mean, we can see in the background here, this is one of the things that got my attention in this video initially as well. You can see the two reactors. Oops. This point. The two reactors on the shelf here. So we got a half sphere reactor and we got a full sphere reactor. And these were part of the Iranian reactors that were experimented with back in that time. And yeah. And he talks about them and actually holds them up to show in the later parts of the videos, and that was really intriguing to me because otherwise it could be considered theoretical. There's some work he does with the blackboard and showing things and so on, but a lot of it is theoretical about the neutron and proton, electron, and so on. And then he shows these reactors and how he's already done these experiments, and already this is part of a device that's already been implemented, and so on and so forth. And then you start to realize the depth of Mr. Keshe's knowledge as both as a nuclear engineer and as someone that's been experimenting in alternative ways of getting these effects and so on. So very interesting and revealing.
Well, it's always good to review stuff that we watched before, because I find that, I've watched a couple things and then you review it again when you have more knowledge and you have a deeper understanding. That's what I'm finding. It's just like watching a movie again, and there's things that you missed and you went, oh, I didn't see that. So it's like layering. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge. So it's important for us to actually go over things, but I don't know if I can go over 2,000 videos. That might take a long time.
Yes, definitely. And that's the problem. By the time you go through all them, spend 10 years going through those videos, there's another 2,000 that have been done in the 10 years that you've been going through them. So that's one of the hazards of doing transcribing and other things, is you're working on stuff that happened in the past, and here we are there's a new workshop every week, and there's an urgency to get it transcribed and so on and so forth. So where do you begin, and where do you limit your time as far as all that goes?
I'm going to go with sleeping with hearing it all the time. I'll just put headphones on and I'll just go to sleep, and I'll go into my subconscious mind, because there's times where I've actually been on the Knowledge Seekers workshop, and of course, because it's like, goes to hours in the morning, Mr. Keshe has this hypnotic voice. Next thing you know it, I'm out. And then I'll come back in, and I'm sure that it's gone in there because, I'll be talking or somebody talking and went, you know what, I've heard that somewhere, but I don't know if it was on a subconscious level or on a conscious level. So we do absorb it on a soul level too. So there's a lot of information. If we could get inside Mr. Keshe's brain, oh, my goodness.
Yes, indeed. Okay, we had someone in the live stream, Mika, I think is the name, and wondering how to unmute in the live stream, but you can't use your microphone in the live stream. You have to be in the Zoom call in order to do that. So I put the link in the Zoom there. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be live.
I think
oh, hi.
This time, because it's not hearing anything, you are speaking with the microphone closed.
Yes.
It's 2 hours and almost 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was just going
to need it. Okay, sorry.
I was just going to wrap things up here, basically, if we don't have more to offer. I was mentioning with the microphone off that Mika, I think is the name, Micah or Mika, who was saying they're not sure how to unmute on live stream. A live stream is just for chatting by text in the chat, and you have to be on the Zoom call in order to unmute and actually speak and so on. So I put the Zoom link into the chat there, but I also mentioned that I think we're pretty much done for today, so unless anyone has something they'd like to present, probably we'll wrap it up here, as Dan mentioned. Okay, well, that's probably best that we do keep it to just over a couple of hours here. That's what we're trying to do in these workshops.
It was great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your participation, Barbara.
Well, I can't always come in on these days. I'm off work at this time, so when I go back to work, I won't be able to get in sometimes, but I come in when I can.
Right on. So just so people know, these testimonial meetings are once a month on the second Monday of each month. So the next one will be, just a second here, it will be, same date. Isn't that strange? The 8th of March will be our next testimonials meeting at 8 p.m. CET as well. Okay.
Rick, there seems to be a question that's been unanswered. I'm just watching the chat here. Not sure
Ringing for.
The question from Helmut: is the content of Keshe teachings free for translating, or does it need a permission from the Keshe core team? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, you can translate anything you wish.
Yesterday, Mr. Keshe mentioned you can put part of lesson, not entire lesson, when you translate in your channel, for example, because it's about the copyright. The piece is okay, not entire lesson or workshop. If you translate, yes, but you need to check from the foundation if it's correct or not. I remember yesterday speaking Mr. Keshe about this.
I believe for the translation, there's a volunteer application. That was my understanding from before, that somebody would have to fill out. I don't know if that's changed or not, but that was what I heard a while ago, because I was thinking about volunteering for a couple things, and that was one of the things that was brought to my attention.
Yeah, you'd have to become part of the team if you want to interact and do the translating and get it put on the actual videos and so on. So, but I mean, you're free to translate as much as you wish, but it's just that in order to have it put onto the actual videos or to use that translation in some way, it would have to be checked over by those from that language to make sure that it goes along with the teaching and so on. So I'm not sure if that answered your question, Helmut, or are you okay with that? You can get in touch probably through info at Keshe Foundation. People that want to transcribe or translate can probably get in touch through that. Or you could use the, what do you call it, the support website. And there's forms there that you could send in as well to get involved. Okay, what else we have? We have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up tomorrow. That's February 7th, 2021. And that starts at 4 p.m. Central European Time. And we have the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group coming up after that. That'll be on Wednesday starting at 7 a.m. Central European Time. So if people want to attend those workshops, they're invited, and that's part of the workshops. The One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace will be broadcast to YouTube as well, and that and the Knowledge Seekers workshops will be the only two live programs that will broadcast to YouTube. And And those two programs will also be broadcast live to the Keshe TV network as well, as the only two live shows. Okay, anything else that we need to announce that anyone can think of here? Okay, I thank you all for joining us here on the 51st public meeting for testimonials on Monday, February 8th, 2021. I think that's it for now, so signing out and see you next time around.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you. Bye-bye.